This is the world of Stalker 2, Heart of Chornobyl. A fabled game from a fabled franchise that's been in development for nearly 7 years now. And whilst this isn't a full technical review, because I've only managed to get 12 hours of game time, and a huge thank you for the early access to the team, I could say this to all the Stalker fans out there who are fans just like myself. This game's everything we wanted it to be. The charm of the old games has been so well captured in this new setting, and it just feels alive. When you ask fans of the franchise of Stalker, like myself, what they enjoy about the game, it's not just the fact that Stalker is this unique open-world survival game. It's the fact that the game is brimming with atmosphere, with feeling like it's alive in a dark universe, with characters who had their own dynamic goals, and how you going from point A to point B can in itself be its own miniature story, whether it's randomly being attacked by dogs or a bloodsucker, or randomly encountering anomalies. In just the 10 hours I've played this game, in side missions and main missions, the game just feels alive. It feels like what I wanted from Stalker 2. And this massive map feels so designed with purpose. Every cove, every cave, every town you venture into, every conversation you have or random interaction, seemingly just has rewards and depth to it. Hell, in the first 5 minutes of the game, I randomly took out a bunch of dudes shooting at a building and got interacted with a guy who decided to hand me over some weapon stashes and help him save his mate, who turned out to not be too fond of him. This entire world that Stalker 2 has created feels purposeful, it feels gritty, it feels dark, it feels tense, but it also fills you with random moments of funniness and random moments that make you wonder what the hell even happened. All of this whilst brazenly reminding you how many times you've perished in a single save file. And yes, the game in a couple of places may feel a little clunky. Characters sometimes don't feel like they are the most dynamic in the world. Granted, they do feel much more dynamic in their native language. Some of the animations sometimes look a little staticky in places and a little less fluid. But that's the same with any kind of game of this scope and scale, and honestly it doesn't detract away from the sheer immersion you get from playing Stalker 2. I mean, I played this thing for nearly 12 hours, and quite frankly, I could have not stopped. If it wasn't for making this video and trying to come up with words that describe the experience, I probably would have kept going, because 1 hour in Stalker 2 could actually be 4 hours in real life. And even with some of the jankiness, the game just oozes charm. The charm that made the original games and the franchise as a whole so captivating. Visually, it's not the most stunning in the world, but it's definitely on the pretty side of things, and it can look incredible in certain times of day and when you're wandering around the map. But it's the feel of the map that makes more sense. The walking into a random room and seeing booby traps on the floor, and encountering somebody who happens to be there. Or finding the fact that there's an anomaly hidden under the floorboards. Or even wandering into this strange little rosebush town and suddenly finding your character falling asleep and teleporting. Now, I won't ruin that this game is filled with lore, interest, and intrigue, and I won't be giving away any spoilers. I want you to encounter those things for yourselves. But at every turn and every corner, the anomalies in Stalker 2 find a way of really shaping up the game in an interesting way, and make each set piece feel distinctly quite unique. And they managed to achieve all of this, the random interactions, the survival elements, and the story elements, all whilst maintaining that very difficult stalker feeling of survival. Because this game actually, I find, tricks you in a couple of places. You tend to find a few medkits, a bit of ammunition, and a couple of weapons on people, and you feel as though you can suddenly shoot your way out of any situation. But that couldn't be any further from the truth. The mutants in this map are terrifying, some of them can straight up instantly kill you if you're not careful, and weapons can be quite challenging to handle. So that stash of ammunition that you thought was going to make the game easy isn't the case at all. And a single fumble in a single interaction in this game will get you killed pretty instantaneously. Even in just medium mode. I haven't even brushed on veteran. I decided to play at medium mode so that I could experience the world for itself and try and brush through the story quite quickly. But even so, at medium difficulty, the core fundamentals of Stalker being a challenging game are slap bang in the middle, and that's the way it should be. With just 12 hours in this game, I couldn't help but fall in love a little bit with Stalker 2. The random interactions were always fruitful and interesting, whether it was accidentally walking into an ambush of a guy holding a sniper rifle, and steadily having to disarm his booby traps one by one, or randomly saving somebody from a situation, or even just getting conned, and that does happen. I had a random little side mission where I had to rescue somebody's body, and because I looted his corpse, he actually refused to pay me. And that's just the interactions with people. The game is filled with ambushes of other stalkers, other creatures and mutants that you'll encounter, and honestly, some of them are really intense. I mean, I actually went through a mission dialogue where I had to find somebody and actually take care of them and kill them. And rather than killing him, I let him go on his merry way, which led me to a different tree of encountering an underground bloodsucker that killed me 6 times before I could even deal with it. And that's the dynamicness that I love about this game. Characters and dialogue can lead you astray or lead you to secrets, depending on how willing you are to interact with them. And in true Eastern European fashion, many of them are spoken in such a way that's quite abrasive. And you will probably like or dislike some of the characters you interact with, and you'll probably decide to pull a trigger against them depending on how they speak to you. And that's always funny, especially when there's 6 dudes with a machine gun behind them that definitely will kill you instantly. But it's just a bit of everything in Stalker 2. It's talking to random characters, not even the main questline. It's changing the dial on a radio to encounter a bit of world lore that would lead you to more information. Or finding a voice memo left inside a room that will lead you to new stashes that will give you unique equipment. That's what the Stalker 2 universe is all about. And there will be some people, I have no doubt in my mind, who are going to tell you that this game is clunky, they're going to tell you that it maybe feels a little bit dated in places, or doesn't feel like the bleeding edge of technology. And sure, maybe some of those are valid criticisms. But if you're a Stalker fan, this game feels like Stalker. It is Stalker. It's the game you've probably wanted and waited for. It's a dynamic world with ambience, with darkness, with grittiness. And I think if you're just a fan of the franchise, all of those reviews and noise are going to be exactly that. Just noise. I'm going to leave you with some background gameplay of some stuff I got up to in Stalker 2. And again, this was only a 12-hour scratch of the surface that filled me with intrigue and interest. And I can assure you that as of this embargo drop, I will be streaming and playing this quite religiously. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like, consider subscribing, and enjoy the gameplay.
повільно! І руки тримай, щоб я бачив! Ти хто такий? Якого хріна тут забув?
Спокійно. Я ствола прибрав, бачиш? Свої.
А може, ти вартівська сука? Винюхуєш? Звалити звідси допоможеш?
Це ви вночі?
Вночі? Ні. Я вже зранку цих виродків знайшов. Скільки добрих сталкерів загинуло.
Є ідеї, як з малої звалити?
Є одна, але
Ясно.
Так що, допомог?
Гаразд.
А я одразу в тобі.
А ти як гадав?
Ну хто зна? артефакт у тебе?
Якого хріна не попередив, що в печері така мудота водиться?
А ти б тоді пішов туди? Отож бо й воно.
Артефакт я собі залишу.
Ах,